Welcome to this week's vlog. They say that a week is a long time in politics, and there's been a huge amount going on this past week. On Monday, there was a fantastic farmer-led rally organised by Liz Webster and Save British Farming in London with the support of the police, over 1,400 tractors. The passion there was clear for everybody to see, and I just hope that it had the impact on MPs to make them consider what the consequences of these proposals within the budget are. We had some of our younger members in Parliament. Many of them had been on our Student Young Farmer Ambassador programme. They were there lobbying MPs. I was meeting MPs in the morning, and some of those MPs have committed publicly to asking government for a pause or took part in the debate in Westminster Hall around the petition, raising their genuine concerns about what the impacts of the proposals within the budget around the family farm tax will have. That's down to sheer hard work from you, our members, that have been lobbying those MPs. We've met with over 430 MPs across England and Wales since the budget, and I urge you to continue that proactive engagement in trying to get them to understand the consequences for you, your family, and your future. Our conference is now just around the corner, and we really want your pre-loved toys. The letters that are coming in attached to those toys that are being sent really are heartbreaking in some instances, bringing to life what the impacts will have, taking that opportunity away from the future generation. Please do get involved. You've got this coming week to get your toys into us so that we can use them in our peaceful protest at NFU conference in Westminster. I'd now like to hand over to Rachel, who's going to talk about rural crime.
Hi, I just wanted to tell you about a meeting that I had earlier this week with the Policing Minister, Diana Johnson. It was held at North Yorkshire Police Headquarters. We had representatives from the National Wildlife Crime Unit, Rural Crime Task Force, NFU Mutual, CSER and the Deputy Mayor of North Yorkshire. It was really good for all of us to be speaking with the same voice when we explained just how rural policing is very different from urban, more isolated, more vulnerable, and quite often large distances involved when you're getting from A to B. We also explained the success of partnership working, and I think the fact that that grouping of people were in the room really showed that. We talked about Operation Galileo and how it had actually reduced hare coursing so much in the country. We talked about the use of WhatsApp as a digital farm watch, if you like. It does work in places. And we also talked about the fact that we've got to get the Equipment Theft Act through Parliament. It's been sitting around for too long now. We need to get it through. We need to protect our machinery, including ATVs in that as well. And of course, we're coming up to that time of year where we've got heavily pregnant ewes outside. Some of you might have already started lambing. Cows and calves will be start going out in a bit, or even calves being born outside like we do here. And we need to ensure that we can protect that livestock. There's too many worrying incidents in the springtime. And that private members bill that is going through Parliament at such a slow pace really does need to speed up. We need to have that protection of livestock bill through. The access point for police to be able to take DNA from animals that they think may have been responsible and therefore have prosecutions has got to be there for us. Overall, it was a really positive meeting. It's the first meeting, I hope, of many, and this enables me to follow it through with her now and take it to the next stage. So, yeah, I'm pleased about that one.
I need to reference the comments that were made by the Food Security Minister, Daniel Zeichner, at Norfolk Farming Conference. Now, it's hugely concerning that he said that we have to accept farming isn't very high up the pecking order. His job is to make sure that the voice of farming is heard within government as our sponsoring minister. Even if farming isn't a priority, surely food production should be a priority for everybody. The following day in Prime Minister's questions, the Prime Minister was asked about those comments and the family farm tax. And in response, he said that farming is an absolute priority. And yet yesterday, we then hear the comments that were made in response to a protest that we feel got out of hand. Now, I fully understand the anger in the industry. I'm angry. I know that you are. But we have to make sure that we continue to build that political support, that we make sure we keep the public support, and that we do the hard yards of political lobbying to make sure that those Labour MPs are able to raise their voice and raise their concerns within government. His response, however, was very, very challenging. To portray this as a choice between taxing farmers or saving our NHS is simply wrong. The £500 million that they estimate may be raised by the changes to inheritance tax would only keep our NHS running for just over a day. That is simply a choice that does not exist. Now, we need the Prime Minister to be willing to engage, because ultimately this decision is his, and to accept that there is a better way of trying to make the changes that still fill the fiscal hole that they're challenged with, but that reduce the impact on you, our members, reduce the impact on the elderly portion of our community is absolutely crucial. But the Prime Minister himself is central to this. And I would urge us all to think about future protests and the impact that they may have, and whether they really enhance our ability to get an outcome, or whether they make us feel good at that moment, but they don't give us the opportunity to get the solutions we need.